Okay, hello everybody.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Hello. Are we waiting for many more people? All right. So today we're just going to have a revision session of what we covered in our last lesson, because a firm understanding of what persuasion means is really going to help us moving forward. So I'll begin by re-explaining what persuasion is, and then we can have a talk about some of the things that we remembered from the last lesson. So persuasion is when we try to get somebody to agree with our ideas or to do something we want by giving them good reasons to do it. So can anyone remember an example of persuasion that we discussed in our last lesson? We talked about a few. Yes, Ken.
Like, if we, is it like if we want more dessert in school, how can we say it like that?
Pardon? Could you say that again, please, Ken?
Is it like that? Is it like that that how can we say when we want more food in more dessert in school?
Very good. So one of our examples was if we wanted to get a new dessert put on the menu at school, some of the ideas we could use were to, trying to remember the ideas. So one of the ideas was to try and get a lot of students to sign a petition so we could show the school how many people wanted a new dessert, or we could even make it and show the cafeteria staff how to make the dessert and show them that it's nice and easy. So persuasion is just about showing people the good reasons for your ideas to try to get them to do it. So as well, though, something important is that we only want to use persuasion when it's going to affect somebody in a good way. So we don't want to use persuasion if it's going to hurt anybody or if it's going to lead to something bad happening. So that's a very important point. We want to use our persuasion powers for good. And the next part I would like to revise is the role of persuasion. So when we use it, examples of when we use it in our everyday lives. So we use persuasion all the time in our lives, even when we don't realize that we're doing it. An example is, have you ever tried to convince your parents to let you have dessert before dinner? Or maybe you've tried to persuade your friends to play the game you wanted to play during recess. So these are just some more examples of using persuasion. So I'll throw it back to you guys now. Do you have any ideas about how we could use persuasion, or do you remember anything else from our last lesson that we did? So if you remember something or you want to share something with the class, just raise your hand like that and I'll call on you to speak. Nobody has any ideas? Okay then. So I'll just bring up the document from last lesson. And let's have a look at some of the examples that we used last time. So some of the examples we used were: you want your parents to let you stay up an hour later than usual before your bedtime. How would you persuade them to let you? Do we remember any of the answers that we came up with? Stella, what's an example that you remember?
I remember that I would tell my parents that I have done a great job doing studying and listening to their, and I have not to do anything fun yet. So I want to ask them so I can relax a bit, reading books, watching videos like that.
Very good. You spent a lot of time that day doing study and you wanted to relax a little bit before bed. Well done. And Bo,
So
what's something you remember?
So I will try to convince our ex-parents to give me 1 hour late sleep. The reason I will tell parents that I'll go 1 hour sleep because the reason number one is I was too boring and not sleepy. The second reason is when I'm done, I have to sleep, but I need something to do. So the first one is I play board games with my family for about like 20 or 15 minutes. Number two is I read some comic books for like 20 or 30 minutes. And lastly, I just relax and a little bit sleep.
Very good. You could tell them that you wanted to spend a bit more time with your family and then read some comic books and relax and go to bed. Well done. Conan sent in a message here. I'll read that one out as well. Conan would say that he would like to stay up for 1 hour more so that he could do more homework and activities and then have 30 minutes to relax before going to bed. Very good. And Ken, what is your idea?
In my idea, I would say that I will, if I have for 1 hour, I would spend it on playing video games because all day I need to study and learn a lot of things. And I will also relax a bit. In the time I relax, I will read comic books.
Very good. So Ken would ask for the extra hour to play some video games and relax and read some comic books. Well done, guys. So the important thing to consider with all of these answers, and you gave some very good examples of things you would like to do, but the most important thing, if you wanted to get that hour, would be to point out the reasons why you deserve it. So by saying things like, I've been studying hard all day and I've been doing my homework all day, so now I would like the extra hour to be able to relax. So very good examples, guys. Well done. And next up, we are going to do a little bit of and some more role-playing exercises to get a bit more practice using our persuasive techniques. So the first scenario that we'll have a try at is you want your family to adopt a rescue dog, but your parents are worried because they're worried about the responsibility. So you want your family to adopt a rescue dog, but your parents are hesitant. So your parents are nervous because they're worried about the responsibility. So take a minute to think about that and write down or take some notes if you need to. And in a minute, I'll ask you for your examples. I just realized I was on mute when I said that. So as soon as you're ready to present, raise your hand. But remember, when we use persuasion, we need to take time to think about what we're going to say, because we need to know our arguments well if we're going to use them effectively. Okay, so who reckons they've got a good persuasive argument to make for getting a rescue dog? Ken.
I think that I would say that dogs can watch our house when it is night, we are sleeping, or when we are not at home. Also, it can bite the thief, and the thief will scare of our dogs, so sometimes the thief can run away. Also, if we are in danger, like it has fire, it can also bark, so we can know that there is fire in our house.
Very good. So dogs are very loyal animals, and they would protect you and your family if you were to get one. That is a good persuasive argument, Ken. Well done. Next up, we have Stella.
So I will convince my family we should take that dog home, because I said that dog is very important sometimes, and maybe it can be useful. it will like it or love it. Maybe it will not be naughty like they think, and maybe it will be a sweet, a polite little dog, not like a naughty dog, right? And sometimes it can protect us from the thieves. Like the thieves come and the dog can bark at, so we can know it.
Good. That's good, Stella. Give me just one moment. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm back. So yes, maybe we could convince our parents that the dog would be well behaved and it wouldn't dig holes in the garden and chew up the furniture. Can you think of a way that we could make sure the dog would behave well, like maybe some kind of training?
We can. For me, I think I can just learn it. I can just help it learn by itself because I have trained a cat already, like abandoned cat, and I see my teacher teach how to be good behavior, not like running around, pulling down faces, breaking things. It just sit all day, sleep all day. That's the only thing she needs to do now. She just needs to let it move more often, not like sleep all day on the mug or on the couch of her house.
I like your imagination there. So you've trained a cat before. Very good. So if you've trained a cat, it wouldn't be too hard to train a dog, because you can just adjust how you train it a little bit and you could train the dog yourself. So that's a good argument if you could promise to take care of it and train it to behave. Very good, Stella. And let's have a look here. Conan sent in some very good messages. So if we didn't want to train the dog ourselves, we could send the dog to a dog trainer. We could treat the dog good and don't make him mad, but do not make him too happy as well. So Conan raises a good point there to find the balance. Make sure you don't treat him too good so he gets lazy, and don't treat him too bad so he gets angry. Very good, Conan. Next up, I think, is Bo.
So I'm trying to convince, I will say the parents to get a dog. The reason I want to get the dog because the reason one is the dog is one of the most useful pets on top one on any pets. And the second reason is dogs are friendly, but there are two types of dogs, is puppies and dogs. So I will get the puppies because puppies are friendlier than the dogs. So I'll try to training him for like jumping, walking, or the head like this. So try to follow him. And number two is when we go out, there's a thief, but the dogs are very smart. They just bark a lot, so that means the thief go away.
Very good. So Bo made a very interesting argument there when he said that if he had the choice of a grown-up dog or a baby puppy, he would choose the puppy. And the reason I think that is such a good argument to make is that if the dog is younger, so if it's a puppy, it's had less experience with humans. So if you get a dog from being a puppy, it gets more used to you, and as it grows up, it's going to be more It's going to love you and your family more and take care of you. Like with Bo's other example of it could scare off a thief if you are out together. So that was a good argument, Bo. That's a good way to think about it. And was it Ken or Kevin that was the other person that had their hand up?
Me.
Ken. So what is the point that you would make to convince your family to get a dog?
I think I raise a hand for talking about how to train the dog. I think that we need to train dog. I think that we can train it at home and just let it know that what person can that it is good for it. So don't bark. Other person, they don't know, they will bark. So I think it is very easy to train it.
Very good. So that's a good point as well. You can get the dog used to you and your family, so it knows who you are, and then anybody else that tries to come house, for some people he may be friendly with, and for some people that you don't want in the house, it would protect your family. So very well done, guys. Our next our next scenario that we'll talk about is your friend does not want to join the school's art club because they think they're not good at art. How would you convince your friend to join the art club with you? So I'll give you a minute now just to think about your arguments, to think about how you would persuade them. Oh, we've already got a couple of people ready to go. So Stella is first in line. Stella, how would you convince your friend to join the art club?
It's actually really because I have invited her to join like an art club or school already. So I will ask her like, why are you scared? And I'm gonna ask her, and after that, I'm gonna like say but you can get practice. When I was small, I draw very uglier than her, like a flower. I draw nothing like a circle full of spikes, not look like a flower, and show her, and then she's just said, okay, but she's not still so sure. I asked her, why are you not sure? And then I said, like, art is for everybody, not only like art because I draw beautifully. Some people in my school draw ugly, but they still joy. And now the pictures they draw look beautiful because they practice a lot. And that's how my friend correct herself, and then she joined the art club.
Very good. So there were a lot of good points made by Stella just then. So you could tell your friend that art is for everybody. You don't have to be a brilliant artist to join the art club. And that if you join, you'll get practice and you'll get better. So those were some good points. So yeah, that was very, very good, Stella. Those were the points that I took away from what you said. Well done. Next up, we've got Bo. How would you convince your friend to join the art club?
I will convince the friends to join the art club because number one is art club can be fun and lots of experiences. But my friends said is arting might be friends don't like joy and bad joy. But I just convinced the friends Just go art club for like few days. Now you can draw a lot better. When you like this club, then join other like something like that. But friends don't want it. If you don't, I will try to tell the teacher. Just go to the teacher and tell there a lot of experiences, a lot of fun things.
Very good. So a very good point that Bo just made was that he would share with his friend how fun doing art can be, because it can be quite fun, even if you're not good at it. But then again, you would go so you could learn and get better. But it can be a very fun and relaxing activity. Good job, Bo. Thank you. Next in line, we have Kevin. Kevin, how would you ask your friend or convince your friend to join the art club?
I will convince my friend to like. I'll say that you don't have to be scared. Like art class will in the art class it will increase your imagination, and that's okay. You didn't have to be scared. If you are not good at art, you can just practice, and no one will say that you are bad at the art class, and you bully you. You can just draw some pictures about your imagination.
Very good. So that is another fantastic argument for joining the art class, where Kevin said that if you join, it will help you improve your imagination. So that's a very good idea. That's a very good argument. And next up, we have Ken.
In my opinion, I will tell that friend that don't worry, because it is very fun in the class. And if you don't know how to draw, the teachers and some grades and some people that do art grade can teach you. About me, I also don't know how to do art too, but I also joined.
Very good. So pointing out that, so if your friend is worried because they're not very good at art, you can also point out as well that you might not be good at art, but you want to go so you can learn. So that can be a good persuasive tactic as well, to put yourself in the same position as your friend so that you can both go and learn together. Very good. And Conan, how would you persuade your friend to join art class?
Persuade my friend that like, even though that your drawing is not good, you can still join the drawing club because it has no requirements, and you can join to improve your drawing and have fun, and you can turn your imagination into drawing.
Very, very good. So you can convince your friend to join as well to learn and get better. Very good. Now, one idea that I thought of, I thought of a whole bunch of them, but you guys were so good at that one that you said almost every idea that I came up with. So fantastic job. The idea that I came up with that no one else mentioned was that if you join the club together, you can strengthen your friendship with each other because you're doing an activity together. And when you do things with people, you tend to get closer to them. Your friendship gets deeper and you become closer to your friends. So that's another argument that you could use, or another persuasive tactic that you could use. But well done, guys. That was terrific. Now, I would like to ask you guys some questions. So I'd like to ask you guys some questions about what we just talked about. And so when I ask the questions, just put your hand up and I'll call on you to answer. So the first question I want to ask is, out of all of the persuasive techniques that we just heard, which one do you think was the most convincing? So if your friend was to come and talk to you about joining art club, or if your brother or sister were to convince the family to get a dog, which out of the arguments that we just heard would you believe the most? Which one would convince you to do those things? Ken.
I think that the thing will convince me is the first one that we tell our parents to take protect dog.
So you think that getting a dog to protect your family and the house would be the most important thing, and that would convince you. So my next question for you, Ken, is why would that be the most convincing reason for you? Like, what about getting a dog to protect the family would be so important?
I think because some thieves that can bring knife or gun, they can attack our house, and only the dogs can help us if we are sleeping, and because if we woke up and the thief is there, the thief is very scared, so it can shot us or kill us. So
Okay,
the dog is very important.
Okay, so you'd be worried about the thieves coming into the house the most. Okay, thank you very much, Ken. Anybody else who, what was the most convincing argument for you? Remember, we've got the two examples to talk about, both joining art class and getting a dog. So what is the most persuasive argument that you heard in our conversation just now? Stella.
I think that joining the art club is with your friends more more important than getting a dog. Okay,
so which of the arguments that you heard from the class was the most convincing reason to join art club?
I think that when we do activity together, we can gain the trust and more friendship. Even though getting a dog can gain friendship too, but a dog and woman can't get together so close. They can only get like in the morning a little bit, in the afternoon a little bit, at the night a little bit. But for friends, the real humans can get every day if they like. And also, getting a dog retrieval is sometimes harder than cats, because abandoned dogs likes to jump, likes to break faces, likes to sometimes bites too much most of the time. Not like attract to humans like puppies or not abandoned dogs. So I think with Fritz, it's more easier to make and also gain more trust and friendship.
Very good. So friendship is a very important thing for Stella. So using the argument that you can get closer with your friend if you do activities together was the most convincing one for her. Very good. Thank you, Stella. Okay, next up we have Bo. So what was the most convincing argument for you that you heard?
The most convincing argument is to get a dog because the dog can protect the house without stealing by thief.
Very good. So Bo worries about home protection and wanting to make sure no one breaks in. Very good. Thank you, Bo. And Kevin.
So I think that for a friend to go to join the art club, also Stella, because if we need friendship, and if we like have a dog, it will like very annoying because they need many attention. So, but like and they can just live like 7 or 8 years, and that's too short for a human. And so for example, I have a dog. When I am like 5 years old, and I really like him, but he had died, and I cannot see him anymore.
No worries. That's a bit sad that your dog died. I'm sorry to hear about that, Kevin. Okay, so for Kevin, it was the more convincing argument in regards to getting a friend to join art class. Okay, so my next question for you is, how did you feel when you were giving your answers, when you were trying to persuade your family to get the dog, or when you were trying to persuade your friend to join art class? So how did that make you feel when you were giving your persuasive arguments? Who would like to go first? Okay, Stella, how did you feel when you were giving your persuasive argument?
For me, when I was giving my friend my advice, the first time when I have given her the advice that I want her to play the board game more than video games, I am very shaky. I'm scared that my friend wouldn't agree with me. I would like just like that more than anything else. But the second time when I ask her to get like more healthy food than biscuits, I'm not so shaky anymore. And the last time I have to advise her that is go to the art class, I'm not shaky anymore. So for me, it depends for me, I guess.
Very good. So I would say, based on what you just told us, that the first time you were very nervous to try and convince your friend. But the second time you said you were a lot less shaky. So you weren't as nervous because you had done it before. You'd gotten some practice. So you were getting better. And then by the third time, you said you were not shaking at all. So you weren't nervous anymore to try and persuade somebody. So that's very good. So, and what's even better is that even though you were still shaky the first time with your friend, you still did it. You still tried. You still tried to offer your friend your opinion, which is very good. So through practice, you've gotten more confident, and that's good. That's very good, Stella. Well done. Next up, we have Bo.
So after I get a dog, I felt very happy because for the first day I felt very nervous because I'm trying to tell the parents that I need a dog because dog is more protection, more any animals. Just imagine that I like the dogs more any day. On the second day I tell the parents to get a dog, but the parents said why we need a dog because after I explanation, so the parents agree that I get a dog because dog can be protected and never stolen by the thief.
Very good. So you were nervous to talk to your parents about it because they may question you about it, but you managed to push through the nerves, and by the end of it, you were able to convince them to get a dog. Well done. So with Bo's example, that also that says the same thing that says the same thing as we talked about with Stella's example, in that the more you practice and you push the nerves down a little bit and you just do what you've got to do, the more you practice, the more confident you will get and the easier it gets to be able to use these techniques, because nobody wants to really upset anybody. No one wants to make anybody mad. And that can make us feel quite nervous to say these things. So the fact that you guys pushed through that, did it anyway, and you ended up getting the results that you wanted, that's very good. That's very good. And the more you do it, the less you'll feel those nerves and the more confident you will get. Okay, Kevin.
When so I I feel uh I feel a desire for because I very like my friend to uh play with me, and I feel a little bit nervous too because sometimes my friend can't play with me, but sometimes they want they want another thing, and they can be like they didn't want to play with me because their friend have thing that they very like, and so that's why I feel nervous.
Okay, so Kevin raised a good point. He said that he felt nervous because he wasn't sure if his friend wanted to play with him. And that, I know that even as an adult, I still feel I still get quite nervous about somebody rejecting an idea that I have or something that I might want to do with them. And it's not fun, but the main thing is, again, if your friend rejects your idea, just remember that they're not rejecting you. It might just be they have something else to do, or they can't come out and play at that time. So when you get those moments, don't give up. Try again another time, and your friend might just say yes the next time. So yeah, so I'm noticing a very, very common theme that tends to run through all of our answers is that we all feel nervous when we have to stand up and give our ideas. But again, it's a very good thing that we're all fighting those nerves and we're overcoming them. So well done to everybody so far. Ken.
I think I will feel nervous because I'm scared of my parents won't allow me to take it because sometimes they are too naughty or they are too or they are too or they are too dirty because of its fur. But but if we like, we need to be brave. So I think that I will to tell it to my parents or my family.
Very good.
From the easiest people to the hardest people.
That's right. That's right, Ken. So yeah, so everybody feels the same when they have to try and persuade somebody. And again, it won't be fun a lot of the time when you have to do that. But if you don't ask for something that you want, the answer will always be no. But if you push through and ask, you don't know. They might say yes. So well done, guys. That was really interesting to listen to all of your ideas and to hear you all talk about being nervous about this stuff. So it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter if you're very young or if you're a little bit older. We all feel the same things when we have to do this, when we have to try and persuade people. We can all get very nervous. So fantastic job, guys. Well done. Our next little section, I'm going to share a whiteboard. And we're all going to, one at a time, I want you all to tell me something that you learned today. So I want everybody to chime in and just tell me something that you've learned today. Stella, what's something that you learned today?
Today I learned that at the end we shouldn't be nervous. We can always stand up and walk the way we are walking, not like sitting there, not walking or not keeping up. Give up already. I think we shouldn't give up, just like you said.
Very good. So don't give up. Keep trying, even if you are nervous. Fantastic, Stella. Thank you very much. And next in line, we have Conan. Conan, what's something that you learned today?
That is not too scared to make people do what you do, because you're nervous, but you think that they will not say yes, but somehow they can still say yes.
Good. So if, well, that's too big. If you don't ask a question, the answer is always no. Very good. Thank you very much, Conan. And Ken, what's something that you learned today?
Today I learned about how to convince other people. And for example, when you want to have a dog at home, or you want your friends to join the art club.
Very good. So how to persuade someone. And what's the big secret about persuasion, Ken? Always make sure you tell them the...
Always make sure you tell them the good things.
That's it. Tell them the good reasons. Fantastic, guys. Well done. And Bo has something he'd like to share with us. So, Bo, what did you learn?
I learned about explanation from persuasive from two examples. Example is when you ask a question from the parents to get the dog, or you have to ask the friend if you want to join the art club. But the parents to ask you some questions to make sure that will get a dog, and the friends will make sure that will join the club will be fun or not.
Very good. So that comes back to how to persuade someone. You can very much increase the chances of getting what you want by telling the person the good reasons why, by telling them the reasons why your idea is a good idea. So that's fantastic today that you guys have learned all of this stuff, because this won't just, let me save that one. So this won't just help you with persuasive writing. These ideas will help you with a lot of other skills that you'll develop. If you're in my debating classes, this stuff will help you with that. This stuff will help you with your job interviews in the future when you go to get a job. So there's a lot of good things that learning to be persuasive can offer you. So that was absolutely great, guys. Just to where's my notes here? So just to talk about what we're going to cover in our next lesson. We're going to start learning where is it here? I've got it written down right here. So we're going to start learning the basics of persuasive writing. So I've got a bit more information right here. Sorry, guys, I've got like 15,000 documents to check through. So yeah, we're going to focus on the basics of persuasive writing, and we're going to learn how it is different from other types of writing. So yes, Bo.
Are there any questions? I just doing nothing.
Well, actually, I will throw that out to you guys now. Do you have any questions for me to finish up today? Fantastic. So we had a really good lesson today, guys. It was fantastic to see your improvement, even just from your first lesson until today. There's already been some great improvement with what you've learned and how you're starting to think about persuasion. So fantastic effort today, guys. I am going to see you next week. There is no homework for today's class. You are welcome. However, while there is no formal homework, so there's nothing I will be checking in our next class, if you would like to put in a little bit of research, you can continue looking at examples of persuasive writing. Oh, it's so adorable how excited you guys get for no homework. But yeah, so if you would like to, pizza jokes. I'll have a cheese pizza with barbecue sauce, please. So yeah, while there's no homework, if you would like to, you can review some more examples of persuasive writing. And other than that, I will see you guys next week. Have a fantastic weekend.
Bye, teacher.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, teacher.
Oh,
Bye.
goodbye. Your mum is more heavy than the universe. Conan.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye-bye.